Hello, everyone. Welcome to People podcast by Rodney. I'm standing in today for another segment of Grown Folk Convos and Poetry. I'm your host, StefMarie, and this is your host, Nerd the Poet. How you doing today, Nerd?
What's going on, y'all? I'm Nerd the Poetry by Coastal Poetry Playboy here at your service. Feeling good today.
Great. Well, today we're talking about love languages. Is everybody excited to talk about love languages?
Yes.
Nerd, can you tell us the different love languages?
Right, so I had to get this on my own, and I'm going to tell y'all some stuff y'all probably did not know. 'Cause I didn't know this when I saw it either. But 5 love languages is actually from a book from an author named Gary Chapman, and it was written in 1992.
That long ago.
Right, yeah. It is originally called How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate, and it encounters general ways that romantic partners express and experience love, which are gifts, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and quality time.
Nice. Thank you so much. Well, if you don't mind, can you introduce the rest of the panel?
Right, so this is a panel of amazing poets from the DMV area, and they are going to tell you about themselves. So make sure you guys give your name, where you're from, and we want to do a random question. But, okay, a random question is, what makes you a grown folk, since this is a grown folks convo? And we'll start over here to my left.
Poetic soul. I'm a mom. I'm a teacher. I inspire. That's what I do. What makes me a grown folk? I have been an old lady since before old ladies were in style. One of my best friends, her grandmother used to call me grandma, so I think that makes me grown.
Oh, it's me. So, my name is Chaos Itself. I spell the T, Chaos Itself. T sound like the D in Django. I am a poet, and I like wrestling and video games. You know what I mean? So it's just like Zangief and like Rusev. That's beside the point. What makes me a grown folk, despite all the gaming and stuff, is that I never had a cosign for my cars. Yeah.
You better.
Impressive.
You know?
Impressive.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dola the Doc. I say what a lot of men think and a lot of women want to say. I'm a poet. I'm a designer. I do a little bit of everything. What makes me grown? All my life I've been told I'm an old soul, so I think from the age of a baby, I was grown.
Well, Nerd, what makes you a grown folk?
I think what makes me a grown folk is that, like, I'm tired of people, you know, and I feel adults are just always, like, upset and don't want to be around people. But no, similar to what everybody said, I've been told I have a grown, old soul. My grandfather raised me, so I think I posture myself around him, very patient, very, gentleman-like. So I would say that makes me a grown folk. What about you, Steph?
Oh, let's see. I think that what makes me grown is I've always been the type of person that can separate emotions from business. I always see that people, a lot of people can't do that. And like at work, it's a lot of, well, I don't like her, so I don't want her to be in this position. I've never been that way. And I think that if you can be grown and be able to separate that, you can thrive in life.
Okay. So for the first part of this segment, we're going to actually have each poet do a piece that is talking about love languages, how they give love, right? And also I want to ask, because are you all familiar with the different love languages? How do you prioritize them? Like, what is your top one and what is your last one? So you can say that whenever you are doing your segment. We'll start with Dawn. Okay.
So my actual love language, they tied. It was quality time and physical touch, which surprised me about the physical touch thing. But and my least was, I can't even think what the least ones was. I just remember the top one. But the poem I'm going to do today, story time.
Story time.
What is something you can never get back? The answer is time. This poem's entitled Time. Spoil me with your time. relax my mind. I don't need a Birkin, Louis, or Gucci. Time is something that really soothes me because it's something you have to invest. Let me just lie on your chest. With me, you'll get the greatest reward. I match your loyalty. I listen to your goofy stories. Let's take each other on a journey. Through these eyes, I can tell you story. I give you daily affirmations because you're a black king and I'll make sure you know it. I pray for you daily without you even knowing it. Time with me is worth it. I'll make you laugh without even trying. You almost feel like you're dying. I hope with me there's no more crying, unless they're happy tears. I know we aren't each other's first, but let's make this last. Through my eyes, I can show you the world. If I'm your one and only girl, you're a king, I'm a queen. All we need is time. It's because we own it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's time.
Time. Yeah, the poem is basically about time, but with what I like to give to my partner is affirmations, like daily affirmations, anything to uplift and encourage. I know I can't talk about anybody else's race, but I know in the black community, a lot of the times the black men don't get that. They don't get a woman that will uplift them or show them love or show them it's okay to be vulnerable or like just pour into them. So that's something with my mate I want to pour into them. And time is, I feel like that's pouring into them and just giving them affirmations and uplifting them. That's pouring into them also.
So why do you think that is? Because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but a lot of times in relationships, I get the sense that sometimes we as women think it's one-sided, like it's all about us, and not that we have to do it too. I mean, is that what it is, or do y'all see it a different way? Because I always see, what can you do for me? How can you make me feel this way? But women, we have to do the same thing.
And I think my mindset is, I like to reciprocate. So if you're giving me love and affection, I want you to know that you're getting that love and affection back. I have seen it with like people that have been around, that it is kind of one-sided, but I'm like, that's why the person feels left out in the cold. We do, like, I'm happy you said that. People got to sit back and think about it. Like, you're thinking me. What the other person is lacking. They're not getting that.
I always say that if I'm in the relationship and my mindset is, how can I please you? And your mindset is, how can you please me? Then we should be happy because we're taking that time to meet each other's needs. But that has always been my philosophy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's you. Well, you know, as a man.
As a man, a grown folk even.
Yeah, right. A grown folk. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Just the giving.
The giving of time. Is it something that you even feel like you need? Because I know sometimes, like, as a man, we're looked at to just be these loners that don't need any type of love or anything like that. So
no, I appreciate time. Time, like, quality time is not one of my top love languages, but I appreciate just having someone around. You know what I mean? Even if we're not doing anything, we ain't gotta do nothing. But if I know you're near, you're around, like, that's cool. That's just like chill, you know. And I like to give time too, you know, but also give space, because women are kind of weird. They want space, which I want time, which I want to be left alone, but you want.
It's like you gotta solve for X, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, carry the fly and all that. It's okay. It turns out carrots. That's the answer. Carrots is the answer. So, yeah.
Okay. You wanna go, Steph, or you go?
Absolutely. So, so when I did my love languages test, I was a little shocked because my top love language was acts of service. Wait, it's what I like to give, though, right? What I like to give. Okay. What I like to give. So I love being affirming, and physical touch. I like to touch a lot. I like to give massages. I like to just do like just weird things, you know. Like I can't explain it. Just like maybe rub on your beard or massage your head. It's little things, but I just like to give a lot of attention through physical touch. It's probably the way I like to give. Okay, so I actually did write a poem, guys. Okay, poem. Last night, a little bit today, a little bit Thursday, a little bit. So here we go. What's my love language? It's when others wish to experience you while I delight in tasting your prominence. How my nipples get hard when you bite your lips as a reminder of your dominance. See, it excites me when others dream of feeling you inside. You tap the G spot in my mind, so you're a joy to ride. You satisfy spiritual kinks. Your penetration hit deeper than physical, so it's magical when we link. You got me squirting memories and busting fantasies. Our connection be out of space telepathically. We interstellar through Milky Ways, erupting galaxies. You make her throb just by the way you mention my name. I'm a screamer, so when you murder this pussy, the crime be how hard I came. It be the secret things, like how you look me in the eye, speaking to the hole in my soul. Just one stare and she be ready to go. I'm locked in your mind like bars, so she always flows. You make me gush rivers with just the thought of us. You can make my body shake without having to touch. You handle me ever so gently, yet take control forcefully, claiming your shit. I love how you know you the only one that can do this shit, cause you the only one that can hit, so you talk your shit. Knowing me down to the sounds as instructions on what to do next, just your knowledge of me is a flex. Whether to suck, lick, pinch, or nibble a little bit, you do it the best. And on my exhausted days, you don't mind doing more so I can rest, cause you know exactly what I need without having to speak, but how to turn me on with just your voice making me weak. My love language is your patience, even when I get on your nerves. How you take your time to admire and feel my every curve. You tease me, intensifying infatuation. You make me yearn to yield in gratification. Doing the little things that build anticipation. Tearing up my heart, we in sync with appreciation. You learn me intentionally to please me sensationally. I even love how you smack my ass with a smile non-hesitantly. You support me by having my back and bringing present. Your acts of service is a gift wrapped in your essence. You affirm your feelings, so there's no need for guessing. You're a man of your word, so I got you. It's actions of blessings, and you add peace to my life with your presence, so no stressing. We empower each other and manifest wins. When you're not around, you still got me smiling. Even on a bad day, you make me feel like a 10. While I'm feeling down, you don't mind affirming. My love language is how we compliment each other's zen, and the commitment to stick it out through thick and thin. Thank you.
See you on your late night. I like that.
Yeah.
We gave a little bit of everything.
Right, yeah.
Kinky and
nice little sample.
I like that.
Samples.
So what I got from the poem is the importance of, I guess, knowing and understanding you, right? And how do you value that within someone? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you is that something that you look to build?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I think that with certain connections take time, and so I always say, like, when you're dating, don't date a person for their potential. Date them for who they are, with the possibility nothing will change. Because if who they are isn't what you desire now, then there's no need of hoping things will change. But then in with that, you build your connection, you build your relationship. Then it gets to a point where that person knows you inside and out, and vice versa. And you do those things without them having to ask. And I think that's what makes it beautiful, because you're anticipating their needs, and they're doing the same for you.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Have y'all noticed, like, sometimes there's like awkwardness in learning somebody? You know, like,
Oh
you gotta.
it is so awkward. Like it's.
I think it depends. I think some connections are more natural, because I feel like if it's hard, you know what I mean? Like if they communicate, like if it's forcing, like if the conversation is hard, like you can't get much out of them, the connection, I feel like it doesn't need to be. But when it's easy, you know, when y'all just have that connection going, I feel like it's more.
Sometimes it be like it's easy to talk to us, but then it's like you're just starting out, so you don't want to give them too much of you. Like it's like I don't want to give you all of it at one time, because what if next week we like, I'm like, then I just put myself completely. It's that vulnerability part. I think that's what it is. Like allowing yourself to let that guard down and being vulnerable. That's a scary thing.
So how do you manage that? Like, because for me, it's hard for me to be like half of myself. You know what I mean? Like, it's either me or it's not. You know, so it's like, do I need to water myself down, or is it a matter of just seeing where that person is, and if you want to, you know, I don't know. I feel like every connection is different, right? So maybe in some connections you're not gonna give them as much because you don't really see it going too many places. But then maybe in some other cases, maybe y'all just on a different level, and it's safe to do that. I don't know.
I would say never water yourself down though.
Yeah, because I feel like if I gotta hold back, I gotta do this, I gotta not completely be myself or whatever, then maybe it's not worth continuing because I don't want to not be me.
Yeah, I don't see. I think it's you're fully capable of being your complete self without giving all of yourself.
Okay.
So there's nothing wrong with you being the person that you are, but it's just understanding that I might not do all of the things that I would do for somebody else in this situation, or I might not discuss all of the personal things about myself until we're at that level. But you're gonna get 100% authentic. This is it. This is what you're getting. It's all of me. I don't, like you said, I don't know how to be half of myself.
Right.
You just gonna get all of my personality, but that doesn't mean I need to share all my personal business with you. That doesn't mean you need to know what my plans are for next week or next year or next anything. We just want to focus and stay in this space that we're in.
I get that because even like in relationships, I feel like there's levels, right? There's levels to everything, and so you can there's different levels even with how we treat people in relationships. So maybe on the first level, you might get a funny stuff, but you may not get the goofy stuff yet because I don't feel comfortable yet giving you that side of me. You can apply the same thing in dating and relationships. Like there's levels, and you don't have to give it all, you know, because they haven't earned those parts of you yet. I like that.
Okay, all right. That's all you think?
So me, yes, I guess in terms of giving love languages, I think my best quality is like gifts. You know, I give good gifts to the point that I pay attention to what she likes and like, you know, really like. For instance, like I was dating this one woman and she loved to drink tea, and her favorite movie is like her favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast. So I got her like a chip cup. You know what I mean?
That was so cute.
So that's I do thoughtful gifts, but at the same time, I learned that the way you give love languages is not necessarily the most that they receive it. So I learned how to adapt certain things. I was dating another woman, and you know, I was like, oh, she's like, I don't really know if you really love me for real. I was like, what you mean? And I take you to work, I take you to this, I do this for you, but her love language wasn't acts of service, so she didn't really feel it. So you gotta cater to that. You know, that's a whole other thing. But, I wrote a poem too for this type of occasion, and it's about giving love languages, but you know, it's a chaos type of thing.
Okay.
So,
Hold up. There you go.
So this poem,
Let me settle in.
this poem is called Gnarls Barkley.
Okay, no.
Okay. Gnarls Barkley. It's a little fresh. Okay. She's crazy, bro. One more time.
Okay.
She's crazy, bro. Sending me all these bipolar texts. 1 minute she hates me, the other minute she want to smash, the next minute she's blocking me, then she's following me back. This extended situationship is something that I can't get away from. She's always trying to say something. Popping up at open mic nights to see if I'm going to do a poem about her, but when I call her out on it, she want to play dumb. You know, I seen her in the back. The venue wasn't even packed. She need to relax remixing my poetry for her Instagram captions trying to diss me like that. I mean, what did I do to deserve this? Reassure her what her worth is? Give her encouraging words and letters handwritten in cursive? Randomly cash app her some money for lunch when she's working? I mean, she's crazy, bro. Always blowing up my phone. And when I don't pick up, she accuses me of ignoring her like I can't have something else going on. See, my life doesn't revolve around her. Even though when I was around her, I made it all about her. Sir, I had to fall back. I mean, I didn't mean to mislead her. But when I feed her the truth, this gift wrapped in so much affection, all that she sees is that I need her. Like bringing her favorite chocolate and rubbing her stomach when it's that time of the month. I told her I wasn't ready for a relationship, but I guess I wasn't honest enough. You know, timing is just one of the reasons why we can't be together. We both got some healing to do, but the sex with her is amazing and the head is even better. And her cooking is just as delicious as her kisses. It was cool in the beginning, but all the infatuation she's feeling now is fictitious. For instance, her favorite cartoon is Garfield, right? So When she would have a hard day at work, I would make her some lasagna on Mondays. Then I would massage her body till her mind gets back to normal in a fun way. You might think that's a little OD, but she loves it. And when she has trouble sleeping, she always wants me to stay. So before bed, I make her come so many times her legs are buckled when she walks into work the next day. See, she's crazy, bro. She's in a situationship all by herself, thinking still have this strong connection when I told her I was still connected to someone else. I guess my actions spoke louder than my words. And all my actions translated to her top love languages, and that's all she ever heard. I mean, I never meant for that to occur. I couldn't find out the best way to tell her I was no longer feeling it. Instead, I criticized her for not being able to read in between the lines like she's illiterate. You know, because the pain from my ex was something I was still dealing with. But all she heard is I have no kids, so no baby mama drama was the benefit. She wants me to be honest about my feelings, but she never likes what I tell her. I told her we can't be together because of her past trauma, but she always tries her best to make things better. And one day she told me she loved me, but I'm still in love with someone else. So I didn't know how to respond. But I still care about her, so I might have did some things to lead her on because I didn't want her to move on. And maybe that's why when I try to let her go, she tries her best to stay. She's crazy, bro. But I think I confused her so much that I made her that way.
That's a good
You love them little twists in the
Right. Yes.
Always gotta hit you with a little something, something at the end of that.
Perspective. You gotta see it from both sides. Yeah.
That was fire.
That's what's up.
That's one of the ways of love languages not working in your favor sometimes. Because sometimes you might not be so into a person, but you tell them one thing, but your actions are telling them a whole nother thing, and they feel all this love when you're not ready for it. So you just gotta be conscious of it. And I got that. I mean, outside of like other situations, I was on both sides of it. I was on one side, I was like, yo, I really like this person, and she's doing all this stuff for me, but she's saying she don't want to be with me, but she's doing this stuff. I don't know what's going on. But then later on, I was doing the same thing with another woman. Like, I'm naturally a giver. I'm naturally pay attention and attentive. So I was doing all this stuff for her, but I wasn't trying to be with her, but she was confused. And then I heard this song by Sir called The Recipe. That's why I put it in there. You know, he says, I had to fall back. I didn't mean to mislead her. If she believed every word I said, I take it all back. Because like at one time, your actions have to match your words. Especially with women and with men, you got to pay attention to both. Because people can say anything, but how they treat you is exactly how they feel. So those love languages can speak something that you're not really ready to talk about sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I like that. Especially like if that person's love, if you're naturally that way, but that's that person's love language, it's going to translate through the actions that is love, even though that may not be where you are. So that can come off to the other person as mixed signals when really that's just who you are. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's possible. And I wanted to ask you, like, when, what was I going to say? When it comes to giving with the love languages, right? Is it hard to not do the giving part of your love language if it's not the other person's receiving language, if that makes sense? Like, if the person's love language is gifts, but you like to give through affirmations, is it hard to adjust and not be yourself to appease that person's love language? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think it is, and I think like you really have to do a pros and cons of if that's the type of relationship that you want to be in. Because I mean, I'm not gonna throw anything out all the way, but it's like you can only reshape yourself for so long, and then you don't want to do it for like a temporary situation. Like if I'm just trying to smash, then no, I'm sorry, I'm not adjusting. Unless you like a celebrity or something like that, and I put that on my resume. Yeah.
He said put it on my resume.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If it's not going on the resume, then I can't do it. But
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Go ahead.
But
You gotta be LinkedIn sometimes.
right, exactly. But if this is like we're planning for like a marriage or something like that, and I'm like, yo, like this is it. Like God sent me this woman, but the thing that I have to do to get her is to adjust this part of myself. Then I'll be willing to do it.
I think it's you have to stay true to who you are, because like you said, if you don't, it's going to be a temporary thing, and then you're going to go right back to doing whatever it was. I think it's more important that you just incorporate whatever it is that is important to them. Like, I can add that, you know, I can make a conscious effort to sometimes do it this way just because I know that that's how you receive love. But am I going to completely abandon the way that I've been given love for years? No, I'm still going to do that, but I'm just going to add in, okay, sometimes I know I need to do it this way so that you can feel what it is that you need to understand how I feel about you. But you can't change who you are as a person unless it's a change coming from within. Like, I want to change this about myself. Otherwise, it's going to be temporary. You're going to go right back to doing what you've been doing.
I like that, incorporating the two. So if you're naturally a giver and that person receives love through physical touch, you can incorporate it so that it works for both of
Just
you.
touch that ear a little bit.
That's what compatibility comes in. That we like who we like, we want to be with this person, but sometimes y'all just not compatible, and you got to be conscious of that. Because trying to force like a square piece in a round hole, it's gonna cause a lot of pain. So you got to be with someone that's be able to receive what you're easy to give at. But at the same time, if they're worth it, you'll make that effort, and they'll make that effort for you to even do something a little bit. You know?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think, just to kind of touch on the compatibility just a little bit, because I always say, you know, a lot of times we're quick, and this may go off just a little bit, but a lot of times we say somebody's a bad man or a bad woman. I don't believe in bad men and bad women. There are some bad men and bad women.
There's some bad
Never
women.
mind, but but what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to, a lot of times we like to say they're bad because they didn't do what you wanted them to do in a relationship. So it's more so about not calling them bad or good, but it's about compatibility. That's what it really boils down to. Sometimes it's not a matter of them not being good or whatever. They just weren't compatible.
If I could quote a young philosopher, Joseph Button, he said, a lot of times we see people in ways we shouldn't portray them because they're not living up to a title we shouldn't have gave them. So we want the person that we like to be this person for me, but at the same time, that's not who they are. We shouldn't criticize them for that. We just got to have discernment about who we give our time and our energy to.
Absolutely, I like that.
Yeah.
I feel better about Shauna now.
Joseph hits the Shauna. Yes.
Well, Nerd, will you share with us? How
Okay.
about you?
So, my top is acts of service, right? And I think this comes to how I was raised. I was the oldest in my family.
Wait,
So-
this is how you like to give, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, if you know, I have to do like a store run, pick someone up from the airport, like that sense of duty, kind of, is something that I just married into my life. You get what I'm saying? And it's like it's come second nature at this point. You know, which is a little tricky because I attract users and stuff like that. But that's a conversation for another time. And then second is physical touch because I like to, you know, get my touch on and stuff like that. So, and I do like the weird, like I like poking randomly. You know what I'm saying? It's like not like, you know, strangers. Like, yeah, you know, strangers.
I was like, you're doing random pokings.
I was gonna run behind you and poke you.
Whoa.
But you know, if I'm around like my lady or something like that, I just, you know.
I'm about to say he been on Facebook too long. You know, you can't get him random poke.
So I hope I touch you today.
They said,
Why you poking me? Just say hi.
And then it'll go into quality time, and then words of affirmation and gifts are last because words of affirmation is actually hard for me to give because I didn't really get affirmed a lot in my life, right? And with the love languages, it says the ones that are not the top ones are the ones that you never really received, you know, kind of growing up, right? So it's a little difficult for me to, you know, affirm and assure people because, like, I don't know what that, like, it just feels awkward. Like, my parents, not until I got, like, older, started saying, like, I love you and stuff like that, you know. And then, like, gifts, like, my dad was one of those who, he was always working, so he would give a gift, you know, for his presence. Right. So I was like, this really don't mean stuff to
Nothing.
me.
You ain't bored.
Yeah.
I don't want to be bored.
Yeah. So that's why that's at the bottom. But the poem I'm gonna share, I didn't write a new one. Y'all making me feel a little bad about that. But it's from my book, The Love Song of Dina McDonald, and
Come on, author.
Yes.
it's called Make Love to Your Mind. I want to make love to your mind. Stimulate your intellect. Get your forehead wet with sweat caused by a brainstorm, soaking me up with new information. Turn you on with this master enunciation of a long vocabulary. I want to make love to your mind slowly and softly, my lips covering every topic, leading to a hot and steamy debate. And as your eyes watch, you wish to suck seed and having me lay down with your opinion, spitting out what ideas you can't swallow, but my hard-on stubborn thoughts won't come. See, I want to make love to your mind with my tongue to go uptown with the sloppiness of slang and swagger as you start to shake and tap your feet to beats in the background, yelling, screaming, throw your hands in the air like you just don't care. See, we can do it anywhere. The best way to share until both our eyes roll back from fatigue. My conversation goes deeper than leagues with profound verbs and nouns that surely aim to please. See, I want to make love to your mind because it's easy to get the draw, so I draw your attention with vivid images like Pictionary. Use the words for play, then intercourses of contemplation. And girl, I'm saying, I will have you thinking all over the place. Until you acknowledge me with philosophies and maybe develop your own prophecies, give me brain literally until I have a metaphor gasm.
Yes.
Like to be complex, but I gladly keep it simple with similes and symbols, and I'm not being X-rated. Just X-raying through fronts we put up. I touch the intangibles to handle you. So you might think the next man's game is cold, but I'm bolder because I want to get at what's between your shoulders.
Nah.
So don't be mad when I ask for a piece because I want to make love to your mind.
Yes.
Penetrate your walls of insecurity until you climb axe perceptions of what you believe a man is, and finally engage in the magical feeling, the explosive experience of a poet's words.
Yes.
You better.
You better speak yours.
Where did that come from? That piece of making love to the mind as a precursor to everything else, I assume. Where did you arrive to that type of mind state?
So, I used to like watch a lot of dating shows when I was younger, right? And the thing that a lot of women said is like, I want a man that will, stimulate me mentally and all this stuff. And I was just like, well, yeah, let me write a poem about it,
Get them mentally.
Right, yeah.
Lord help.
Sometimes women would tell you exactly what they want. You just gotta listen for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But see, I wonder about that sometimes. I don't really care for people who meet me and then they're like, well, what are you looking for in a man? Because I feel like that's sus. Like, are you trying to mold yourself into what it is that I'm looking for? How about we just get to know each other? Like, I don't like those kind of questions. What are you looking for? Ask me questions that you want to know about me. Get to know me, but not what am I looking for.
I hate those interviews. Like, when you meet someone and they're interviewing you,
Just like,
I was like, I don't do this. Like, I don't do interview questions. Like, can't we just get to know each other naturally?
Is it a job?
Like,
No, for real.
Ask you question after question after question.
We have
like,
resumes.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
What's
will
your
I know you?
thing?
Can we get through this date, please?
Right. Legit.
So now I want to ask you, so when you said, what was it in the beginning, before you did your piece, you was talking about it's hard to give what you never had, right?
Yeah.
So, and I've heard the opposite too when it comes to the receiving. Your love language is always what you didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, do you agree with that? Or?
So
Yeah.
So you desire to get what you never got?
Pretty much. As your top love language is typically, your top love language is usually what you didn't receive and which versus what you give.
So with that is, as you mature and get older, you become aware of that, and then you seek it more, right? So it's not like it's something that you can give to yourself. And you can give love languages to yourself as well, right? So say if you never gotten gifts, then you buy yourself stuff that you like. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of goes with that. I think as we as adults learn more about ourselves, then we can get to a place where that is not a barrier You get what I'm saying? And that is not like a trap, because people can, much like you said in your piece, can use your insecurities or use what it is that you never gotten against you.
Yes, they will. Yes,
Right.
they will.
To manipulate the situation in their favor, right? So like for me, I like food, right? So if someone is being in a toxic relationship with me, but they cook a meal every night, I'm gonna be like, like I'm gonna be
Pull me back in.
right. I'm gonna be at that door like, dang, do I really want to? And then she got she sent a text with the plate, and I'm like, all right, I'm on my way.
I'm on my
Those
way.
sexy food places be getting me every time. I'm on my way.
No, legit, the way to my heart is through my stomach. That's the way that feed me. Thank you. I'm showing up.
Right. So just say no. Make yourself a sandwich. Do whatever you gotta do, but stay in the house.
Can we just talk about how, real quick, like how your poem, like making love to your man, like, can we just talk about how that's like a whole love language by itself?
That is.
For me,
That
it is.
If you can stimulate, I got a poem that says if you can stimulate me mentally, the battle is halfway through. If you got my mind, like you got my mind, it's like everything else just follows.
It just follows.
And like, I mean, juice is everything just follows. I just like, here you go. Just like I don't know, that mental thing. It's hard like to get into my mind. So it's like if you can get into it and understand it and appreciate it, like I don't know, that's sexy.
It is.
That is sexy.
I agree. She's gonna be like, yes, I agree. Okay, Poetic Soul.
All right, so again, I did not write no.
Well, let's talk about how you like
I don't
to.
have a love language poem, but I am a giver naturally. Just that's who I am. So I'm kind of like Chaos said. I like to give gifts that mean something. So like I am gonna get you like that wallet that's inscribed. You know what I'm saying? Or a mug with people that you love that have passed on. Like I'm gonna get you something that actually you want. That's the way I was raised. Like my mom taught me to give according to what somebody wants, not what you want to give them, because those might be two different things. And I'm also like I'm an exhorter, so words of affirmation is just my natural lane. Like it's just I've had relationships with people where like I talk to them every night and it was just like me encouraging them. But I realized like I don't want to date this person, and so like the cutting off of we talk every day though, and it's like, well, why you don't want to talk to me no more? Is because I realized like I'm just like I'm doing what's natural for me, and you're interpreting that as I want to be more than just a friend. No, so I had to like cut that back.
It's a dangerous thing being a poet and being so good with our words, meeting someone that their love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah,
it's almost a cheat code.
It is. So it was like, yeah, I gotta break this off because I'm not trying to lead you on. I don't want you to think the wrong thing.
Right.
But the poem that I'm gonna share is basically about like getting in new situations, right, and like determining, is this what I really want, right? Is this situation merely infatuation, or have I finally met my match? I've been throwing my heart over home plate, but it seems no one can catch. I'm still being patient, just waiting for a real relationship, trying to find the one amid all the counterfeits, the one who will truly love me, who understands my pain, the one that speaks my language, does what he can to keep me sane, the one that wants to hold me, keep me tightly in his arms, the one that will protect me, keep me safe from any harm. The one who wants to wife me even though he's seen all of my flaws. The one that wants to support me, be there every time I call. The one who's not afraid to pray for me or call me out when I am wrong. The one who's not afraid to admit that sometimes he doesn't feel so strong. The one who's not afraid to say he needs to be held tight. The one who knows it's about compromise and not always who's wrong or right. So is this situation true love or just another lesson to be learned? Have I found my forever love, or will I again be burned? Because I'm tired of all these claims of love, these so-called proclamations, only to have my heart stop sitting on the sidelines of my life and really do my part. Stop taking people's problems and internalizing them as my own. Stop being there and loving folks when no love has been shown. It's time to take my own advice and start caring for myself. start living my life accordingly because now I know my wealth. And if this situation turns out to merely be infatuation, I know just what to do. Let go, forgive, move on, and chuck a deuce.
You know, one thing that I love about your pieces is always like a stream of consciousness. You know, like I can see a person like in third person, but you're narrating what's going on. You know, and like the way that you even write like the internal questions and the way that you come to conclusions and stuff like that, and it wraps up at the end. Like that's just what I noticed about your.
Okay, Guru, thank you. Analyze the poem. I like that. Go ahead.
But no, that was great. So like, have you been in that situation before where you had to be like, is this love or is this just like a little fling thing?
Constantly, because like I said, when I'm naturally a giver, right? So people are naturally attracted to that in me because it's automatic. I'm naturally an exhorter. I'm gonna boost you. You are not gonna leave me, friend, relationship, family. You will not leave me the same way that you came. But that's automatic. So sometimes I gotta try to figure out, like, are you interested in me, like all of this, or are you just interested in who I naturally am as a person for you? Like, are you just attracted to the fact that I make you feel good? Are you just attracted to the fact that, if you need $5, it's not even a question. I'm just gonna give it, right? So, yeah, I have to, like, is this real? Like, are you really into me? Then you gotta show you're crazy a little bit, because I gotta test it a little bit. Like, let me just give you a little attitude and see what you're gonna do, because that'll let me know if you really gotta give you a little bit.
I think it attracts users too, because when you are naturally a giver and when you do like to do things for people, sometimes it backfires, because they feel like, well, this is who she is. She's gonna keep doing these things for me. Because that's just a part of who she are, so I don't have to put in as much effort. I don't have to try. And for me, it's like, you don't have to do it at the same level I do it, but you got to put some effort. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I can't expect somebody to be another me. You know what I'm saying? But I do expect you to at least be willing to do those things without me always having to ask or feeling like I'm nagging you. So, yeah, I feel like it attracts users too.
Definitely. You have to definitely be careful with the use, because they will come out of nowhere. That's something like with therapy I have learned. My favorite word now is no. Before,
it's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence. Like,
my heart is big, and I don't. If I have it, and especially if I'm cool with you, you got it. You can call me 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you still up? Do you mind coming and get me because I'm stranded? I'm that friend. You can call me 2-3 o'clock in the morning just to talk. And I realized that I was pouring into so many people, and it was leaving me empty. And it's like, who's pouring into me? So I learned to say no. And it's when I feel like, now, don't give it. Everybody does not deserve everything of you.
Absolutely. I had to do that to a friend recently because, like, we hadn't talked in almost a year, and she's hitting me up. I need some money, and she didn't even like.
Not even like, hello, how you doing?
I'm like, I said no. There's the times that even though she'll pay me back, the times that I did give her money, it was like I would see her like on IG, whatever, partying. Hey, I said, okay, so you want my hard-earned money to party? You know what I'm saying?
It's a problem.
And it's just like, people will do that. So I was just like, no. I was so proud of myself. I was like,
no. So my favorite word, no.
Yes.
I want to build on top of that too, because I also noticed what makes you really a grown folk is like reciprocity. Because if you think when you're a child, everything is given to you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no expectation for you to do everything that your parent or caretaker is doing. And I feel like sometimes that mentality goes into adulthood, right? But you really become grown when you know, like, it's a mutual investment. Like, even if this person says they're going to do this and they aren't expecting anything, it's like off a GP, like, I gotta do something for them, Even if just knowing, like how you said, like they're gonna be drained, regardless. So like for them, because I care about them, to not see them get to that point, I'm going to throw something back
Their way.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Absolutely.
Givers have to learn how to give out of their excess. Because a lot of times as a giver you will give until you're completely depleted, but you know that's not natural. You should not be always giving out of your lack. You should be giving out of your excess. Like, this is what I have in addition to what I already need to sustain me. Okay, I can give that away. It's not a problem.
So one thing I've learned about myself, right, now that you said that, is that I realized that a part of my giving was based in trauma, which was, you know, rejection. So I would give to show my worth, my value, that I'm worth it. And the more I would get rejected, the more I would try to prove, you know, whether
this is why you should want me.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm worth it. This is why, you know, you should love me. This is what I can do, when all that really is a trauma response. I've learned that a lot of people give from trauma trying to be accepted. So anytime you give more, you keep giving more than what you're receiving, that could be a trauma response.
Yeah.
Facts.
It also builds resentment too. You know, because it's like, yeah, I did all this for them to, you know, like me, and I still got rejected. Like, dare, you know, like, people suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I was saying before, you have to learn to give yourself your own love languages. You know, so that way you're not dependent on the approval of someone else.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because if you don't have it inside and you look at from it outwardly, then you're always going to feel empty. Because you have to already have it yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're entering into the second part of our show of love languages, and this time we're going to talk about how we like to receive. All right, so we'll start with you, doll.
Okay. So, story time.
Story time.
What if her only desire is to spend time with you? I'm not being cocky or arrogant, but I don't need you. It's a difference between need and want. This poem's entitled, I'm Different. You asked what I needed from you. I just desire quality time, where we can sit back and talk about different times in our lives. The things that made us smile, the things that made us sad, goals and the things that we're going to accomplish in this life. My love language is quality time, and that's all I desire. I don't care about materialistic things, they fade away. But time is something that will always be stamped in your mind, so can you take the time just to share it with me? It really makes my heart gleam. I start to radiate on a different frequency because you took the time for me. I know in the back of your mind you may be thinking I'm too good to be true. Just know I'm heaven sent. So stop second guessing, could this be it? You're not used to someone wanting to be around you just for you. It's always what you can do. But I keep telling you, I'm different. I don't care about your job, your class, the furniture, your home, your car. I just want to know, can you make me laugh and smile? Make me giddy from just having you around? Will I feel safe in your arms? Will your smile and voice make me feel like I'm at home? Could you make me smile from just listening to your ambitions? If no one told you before, that's a sign of strength. At least you have ambitions. I hope I can help you conquer them. So just know, I'll show up for you in ways you never experienced. I just need you to show up for me in quality time. So like I said, I'm not being cocky or arrogant, but I want you, not need you. And I know in the first time in your life it may be scary, not being needed, but let me open your eyes to something good. It can be, how good it can be to just be wanted. With no extra rules, no extra bags, no stipulations, just quality time. Can we stick to the basics of getting to know each other without putting stipulations on our mind, heart, or soul? If we're right for each other, it doesn't matter because we'll both grow old together or just create happy memories together. So yes, I can be the woman of your dreams. Just because I don't need you does not mean that I'm superior. I'm a strong woman, but I need love and companionship too. It's hard sometimes to find a companion. I don't think I'm asking for much. Quality time. I know it may be hard to believe, but I'm different.
Okay. Come on with that cutesy.
High five for quality time.
Yes, quality time.
This high five made the song. Quality
Yeah.
Time.
I
I knew you. You know. I knew
see how you
you.
do it. I see how you do it. I
sit back. So you had posted something in the Artist Network with what's his name? Oh my goodness, I can't think his name. Just Mike. And I had started writing some. I was like, before that, I was like, I think it's hard for some men to be around a woman who really don't need anything from him. It's not like I'm not being cocky, not being arrogant. Only thing I really desire is somebody who wants to be around me. I don't care what you have. I feel like stuff fades away. It fades away, but your time, like I said, is something that's always stamped in your mind. Those memories will always stick with me. So after listening to what he said, he was like, it would be actually good to have somebody who just want to be around a person. I'm like, that's all I desire. I do not care.
Yeah.
What somebody say, oh, I need a doctor, I need a lawyer, I need all this other stuff. I'm like, but they may not have time for me. That's something I want. It's just time. Like all that other stuff, if we're really gonna build with each other, we can make that stuff come to pass. But that time thing, that's just, I don't know, it's just something that just hits differently for me.
Yeah, I like that. And even with what you were saying, you know, need versus want, because I know I had put that in there too. And a lot of people have different feelings on that. Like some people say, well, I want you to need me, and others say, I want you just to want me. And I want to know what y'all think about that real quick. But I'm more so on the side of want, because I kind of feel like you should be able to be everything you need for yourself. And even if, because nothing is guaranteed in this world, right? There's no guarantee that you're going to get married or find the love of your life. So you have to, as much as we desire and want, you have to be satisfied within yourself, in my opinion. Because otherwise you're going to be miserable. But yeah, I like that, and I like also with the quality time. I feel like you do make time for what you want, even if you're busy, because you know we be busy
all the time.
Busy, but if it's someone that you see valuable, you're going to find a way to make time, even if it's not all the time. You're going to make some sacrifices to find the time.
Meet you in between this and that.
Yeah.
I want to see your face.
Give you 5 minutes real quick.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So what do y'all think, just real quick, when it comes to want or need? Do you want someone to want you or need you?
I want somebody who wants me, because like as a giver, like you said, you will fall in the pitfall of users. So like I like to feel needed, but that can be to my own detriment. Like if someone really needs me and I'm there for them, there for that, I was like, oh, I feel good about it. They feel good about it, of course, but then I don't get that reciprocation, because like the one time I might need them, they might not have time, and it doesn't click that they don't have time for it, because I would set aside the time to be there for them because they need it. And it falls into that. So someone that wants to be, someone that has their own, they have everything figured out, they got everything going on by themselves, but they want me just to be there or be around, or they enjoy just my company or just anything. It's a nice balance between us.
Because it's not like you're trying to get something from me, you just want me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Because so many men, before we go continue to say, they say they'll leave a relationship because they don't feel needed. Like they don't feel like the woman needs them for anything. You don't need me to do this, you don't need, and maybe that's different. But I've seen it where men will say, because you're so independent, because you can do whatever you need by yourself, I don't feel needed. And they end up going to someone who may have less, but because they feel needed.
You said that part. So so for me, I want to be wanted and not needed. Growing up, like with my dad, he felt like if you didn't need him, you didn't love him. And that's something like kind of struck in my mind. And I'm like, that's not a sign of showing someone you love them. Just because you can do materialistic things from that kind of turned me in the opposite direction. I want somebody to want to be around me, not need me. Just because, I don't know, I'm like, that's not a way to show love, because if you don't need me for nothing, then apparently you don't love me. No, you want me in your presence, that just does something for me.
But at the same time, with love languages, sometimes people that give that acts of service, they receive love by giving that acts of service. So in his mind, he'd be like, oh, you don't need me to do this stuff for you, then I don't feel that type of love.
I get it.
That's it from that perspective
makes
as well
sense.
now too. Okay.
Yeah, I think for me it's mixed, right? And I had to realize at a point in my life, I was forming a lot of codependent relationships. You know, with friends, with people I was dating, because I was getting that sense of duty fulfilled. But then when I needed someone, I didn't have nobody to go to, like, not for no advice, not for no money, like nothing.
Right.
And I was just like, hey, I can't go to none of y'all for shit. Like, not one. And it was like, that's the relationship that I formed, So I had to look inward and say, like, why is it that I'm forming these relationships? So now I want to have someone who wants me, but still needs me for certain things, right? So, like, I want to feel like the man in the relationship. I want to open the doors, you know what I'm saying? I want to take the car to get service and wash and stuff like that. Because that gives me a sense of duty in the relationship. Otherwise, I was like, I'm just here.
Right.
Looking around. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's different because, like you said, with codependent relationships, most people think codependency is like, I need you, but on the other side is that you want to feel needed. You know what I mean? So you can develop a codependent relationship with somebody by always being there for them. And you feel that need for yourself, and then you get trapped in that with users and everything. So it's definitely a balance to like everything.
Yeah, I want to be wanted. Period. Just want me. That's where we are. But I do understand that, like, as a giver, I was a terrible receiver. So even if somebody did want to give me what I wanted, I'm not good at receiving because I'm so accustomed to being the giver. But over, the last couple of years, God just really, like, had to humble me, like, no, let people give to you because, like you said, that might be their love language, or that might be their opportunity to bless somebody so that later on they could get that blessing back. Who am I to block them from, doing what they need to do to feel loved as well? So
I like that you said that too, because I feel like sometimes we as women, we're kind of taught that we have to be, or we're so accustomed to being so independent that when a man is trying to be the man and do these things for you, it's like, I'm not used to it, And I think that's when it becomes an issue. And plus, traditionally, men are taught to provide, to nurture, and all these things. So it's kind of like we expect the men to be the provider, but yet, well, let me not get into all that.
That's a whole other episode.
Yes, but yeah.
I feel like it's I'm learning. I'm adjusting and learning to receive. But it's sometimes it's kind of hard because in the back of my mind it's like, what do you want? Mm-hmm. I feel like sometimes people have extra motives, and then everybody don't. Some people just want to give to you. So that's something I've been learning. Allow people to do what they want to do for you. And if they do have motives behind it, it's not your job to, say, okay, that was I knew you were gonna have motives. No, allow people to just do what they want to do for you. But it's hard, especially when you're used to just giving.
Yep.
It's hard to receive. But I'm learning. I'm on this journey. Let people do what they want to do for you. It's like my mind is like they want something. What's gonna happen?
But you gotta let people. Especially like in relationships. I think strong, independent women get set in that thing of, ain't no man about to control my money, control my this, control my that. So I don't want him giving me anything because I don't want him to feel like he has control over.
And throw it in my face.
So it's all about. I mean, I think a lot of people who struggle with being receivers, and I know for me, it was a control thing. Like you're not about to throw that back in my face. Like, oh, remember when I gave you? I don't like that, so I'm not. So it's hard, but yeah, you gotta let people take care of you too.
Absolutely. And you have to let people give you compliments and not be like, well, not really.
Right.
Accept the compliments.
Thank you. I receive all of that.
You gotta let people give you money too.
Yes.
Right?
That's the hardest part. No, it's not anything else, but that's the hardest part because I'm like, what
you want me to do for this money?
Or later on, you gonna say, I gave you that. I'm like, I didn't ask you for it. I didn't ask you myself, but it's like, okay.
Like, if it wasn't contract binding, there is nothing that needs to come back to. That's my thought.
But that's like when someone say, I'm gonna fly you out. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do these things. But I kind of feel like, there was like a whole conversation of if somebody flies you out, the expectation is you have to
do something.
Yeah. But I feel like that's why it's important to be clear in your communication. So I'm upfront. Like I'm gonna let you know.
What does this entail?
Just to let you know.
Not happening.
If you do this does not mean X, Y, Z is gonna happen. Now, do you still
want me to come?
Now, if you're, I just feel like just be upfront.
Yeah.
Just be upfront.
Also, if somebody get fly, I feel like most of the people we've seen stuff like this, they didn't have no money to get back just in case something happened. Like,
Right.
You gotta have your
excuse
own
me?
money to have.
You didn't have your money. I'm
You gotta
sorry.
Make
Somebody
sure I
said,
got some money to get home.
Uber, come get me and I'm going home. Like,
Just in
plain
case.
and simple. Like, you gotta have your own.
You gotta
so
have your
expect-
own.
You gonna get there and only have $2 in your pocket?
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am, well, sir, because it happens both ways.
It
Like,
does.
Yes. Always have yourself, even on a date or whatever. If you can't expect them, you don't know. Especially it's your first date. Always have enough money
Take
to
some
cover
money just in
yourself,
case.
whatever it is. As women, we got to make sure we got ourselves. Don't even go on a date if you can't pay for wherever you're going yourself.
or pay for what you asked to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I got expensive taste. I eat.
Especially like,
I'm bored.
especially if a man is like, split the bill. I don't like splitting bills. That's my whole thing is if you are treating me, then treat me.
Mm-hmm.
Treat me completely. Because when I treat, I pay the full bill and I tip. That's what I do. Because to me, that's when you treat someone. Don't take me on a date and then ask me to pay half the bill or ask me to tip. You're not treating me.
Because I feel like if you ask, if you're the one asking,
Then you should be the
take
one
care
paying.
of it. And if I tell you I want you to come with me, in my mind, I got it. Now, if you decide you want to help or put something on it, that's a different thing. But if I'm asking you to go with me, my mind is already programmed because I asked you. I'm going to take care of it. And whatever that bill wind up being, I know where we're going. Just have enough. Because I chose to ask you.
Exactly.
We're giving y'all some free game right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hopefully people watching taking notes.
Yes.
All right, so
I think, yeah, it's on you, Steph.
okay, so when it comes to love languages for me, I like to receive. So when I did the test, a lot of them were pretty equal, but my top ones was acts of service, and gifts. And so, because I like it and so for me, it's kind of the same, because thoughtfulness for me is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are somewhere, and it doesn't have to be material. It could just be something that you're thinking of and you send it to me. So that's why I was just like, why is it saying gifts? Because I'm not materialistic. But then I realized it's just the giving and the thoughtfulness, which is the same thing as acts of service. But the rest of them were kind of all equal. Physical touch. So pretty much I want it all.
You want
So,
to hey,
Give it all to me. All of it.
everything. A little bit of everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't really have too many love poems, because love don't live here no more. So no.
It's coming back. Open the door.
So anyway, so this is something short. I forgot I had it. It's called A Sunday Type of Love. Real short. I want a Sunday type of love. Wake up to kisses, mimosas, and back rubs. Dripping with wetness, I'm your bubbles in a hot tub, serving myself up like a meal while gazing in your eyes. I take you in and open like sunrise. You make me high, so I make you rise to this pussy. Sucking me like grapefruit. I be your juicy fruit. Then I return the favor. Let me start over. I'm sorry.
Okay, you got it.
Y'all got me laughing.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at you.
Juicy fruit.
Cause they know the
Juicy fruit.
Pussy yourself. Okay. I want a Sunday type of love. Wake up to kisses, mimosas, and back rubs. Dripping with wetness, I'm your bubbles in a hot tub, serving myself up like a meal while gazing in your eyes. I take you in and open like sunrise. You make me high, so I make you rise to this pussy. Sucking me like grapefruit. I be your juicy fruits. Then I return the favor. I suck you like strawberry dipped in chocolate flavor. You're so tasty. We're each other's breakfast. The best kind of drink at 9 a.m. Satisfying our thirst like only we can. Netflix, chill, sleep, then do it all over again. Loving on each other's presence, taking each other's in. I want a Sunday type of love.
Girl,
Something
love.
that's like,
Sunday type of love. Why Sunday?
And that's the
because
holy
I
day.
feel like,
Right, that's the holy thing.
The Thursday type of love.
anyway, yes, it could be holy because if you are married
Yes.
and the bed, look, the
And-
bed is undefiled.
undefiled.
Hello.
We can share the lid.
Talk to
Okay,
me.
so
I see it.
I'm not messing with
You
you.
see it in the sunshine. That's okay. Go ahead.
So I say Sunday type of love because I feel like Sundays are like those days that you just chill and you don't have no like, it's just a day of rest. And like, what's better than just having sex and eating and chilling all day, just doing it all day, like rotate, do it again, you know. But I just feel like this is a good day just to show like love, reciprocation is loving on each other. It's like all day. That's all you do. So that's why.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that. I like that.
And she said,
You can get dog to react to something freaky, you know something good.
I was just-
Oh, baby.
I was over there
Right,
shaking my
right.
head like this.
The
I'm
Bill
like,
Cosby.
that pudding. That was
Okay.
good. Talk your stuff, Steph.
All right,
Oh, so it's on me. So I'm trying to write more love poems, just to to branch out. I have one love poem.
Okay.
Well, I had two. I retired one because that love is not here anymore. You know what I mean? Abandoned it, like Rose was.
Oh.
But this one I wrote when I was deep in love with a young lady. But I was so deep, I wanted to section it off. So this is like the beginning of the love. You know what I mean? I'll probably write something as it goes on. But this is called I Didn't Mean It.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So I was in the neighborhood and I wanted to make sure everything was good. I know we could spend some time together last night, so I really didn't think it would be too weird if I stopped by. I know you're busy working, so I bought you some food from your favorite Mediterranean place. Is it weird that I miss you already? Because honestly, I just wanted to see your face, but deep down I thought this would be a clever way to erase how awkward it must have been last night. Even though right now it might just be a little bit more awkward because I'm showing up at your office unannounced, but I'm just gonna keep talking. See, last night was amazing. I wouldn't change a thing. Maybe we was laughing and joking and I enjoyed myself in ways I can't explain, but there's one thing I wanted to explain about, one thing I wanted to change. See, when I told you I loved you last night, I didn't mean it. And I like you a lot, and you know that ain't no secret. But the vibes were just flowing, and you probably didn't hear me. That's why you asked me to repeat it. So I said something that rhymed because I was nervous and overthinking. But when I told you I loved you last night, I didn't mean it. See, this dating thing for me has been like a new type of challenge. But ever since I met you, I've been losing my balance. I must be tripping because I think I'm falling for you too soon. And I don't want to fall into a hole that's too deep for me to maneuver. And I don't want to pressure you. I just can't stop thinking about you. Things have been sunny so far. I don't know if we can stand the rain, but this new addition to my life is something that I want. But if this isn't love, then why am I showing up with your job with a falafel bowl, some pita bread, and ginger ale in a bottle? But when I told you I loved you last night, I didn't mean it. It's too early for all that, right? I mean, the time we spent together was amazing, including the time for last night. But I was just caught up in the moment, and I know I was being too open, and I was certain how my ex did me so cold and my heart would be frozen, but I don't want to hold you and take up any more of your day. So I'll just set this food on your desk and then start to walk away, but I just came by to say, when I told you I loved you last night, I didn't mean it. But actually, I really did mean it. Baby, I love you with all of my heart and every fiber of my being. Just the thought of you makes me smile for no reason. I love every minute I'm around you, and I miss you every second that you leave. Sometimes I flip through the pictures that we take together and wish we could be this way forever. Every new experience I have in my life, I want an experience with you because I know you're going to make it better. I know I told you I don't want to hold you, but all I want to do is hold you. You're the only woman I ever want to be close to. I want to motivate you and help you achieve every single one of your goals too. I've been suffocating with this last heartbreak. But you've been like a breath of fresh air. A cool breezy who can inherit all the love I want to give like a fresh air. I want to be fluent in all of your love languages. Just how much I love you always translates effectively. I want to get to know you so well I can give you exactly what you need without you telling me like telepathy. But sometimes I just stop and look at you, and I'm in awe that you're so beautiful. I mean, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for you. I know people say that a lot, but seriously, if there's anything that make your life easier, make you happy, make you smile, make you laugh, make you feel safe, make you feel loved, and make your day release some stress, as long as I'm breathing, baby, say less. And it gets annoying sometimes because I don't know if you feel the same way. But even if you don't, I'm still grateful I've been able to experience this level of love every single day since the first time you called me babe. I mean, I'm in love with you, okay? So I just came by to bring you some lunch, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I try to make it a good twist.
Man,
This time.
what type of thing was between that woman's legs? Like, you know what I'm saying? Over there, like that. That's what I mean.
So, a lot a lot of my poems are from my mind and I made it up. This one has a lot of real stuff in it. Even there's some things in there that only she would know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But even when I felt that way, it wasn't even the physical like that. I just really enjoyed being around her. Our vibe, we clicked, we was compatible, we talked, we had fun together. Like, we was best friends at first, and then it kind of slid into something romantic and love and everything. So I was like, yeah. So I try to, I wrote about it a little bit.
Okay, now can I interject? Because as a man, right?
Yes.
We talking man to man. Have you been in a situation where it's like everything has been like that, but it's been something wrong that she like don't want to fix? Like, and it's just like if you would just act right, yeah, like we could be,
we could be great together.
Yeah, like
that's where that compatibility thing comes in, because like if everything is good, but it's that one thing. You got to find that line to not sacrifice who you are or what you want or who they are to try to make it work. Sometimes be like, I like you a lot, we care about each other, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's, I forgot who said it, but it was like, sometimes you're not asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person. So you have to just find who's compatible, who can like fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, and talk about in love languages, my type of love language, because like, I like to do the test often. When I start dating a woman, it starts to get a little serious. Like we about to be together, I want us to take the test. And if we're together for a long time, we take it periodically because it can change. So my last time I did it is physical touch. You know what I mean? I like hugs, I like cuddles. Stroke my beard. You know what I mean? Touch my earlobe. Just like let you know, let me know that you like me around. Just rub my back, give me a hug a little bit. So yeah, that's my thing.
okay, all right. So I'm realizing like I don't have a lot of poems about receiving, because that's like something that was a personal journey, and I don't express it in my poetry. My poetry is more expressing like what I've been through and what it is that like I feel like I want. But I don't know. It's just like I guess to me being someone that had to give themselves everything, like that's not even what I really look for. So it do be awkward sometimes when someone is trying to give me something, but as far as receiving, I do like physical touch. I like words of affirmation, and then quality time and acts of service and gifts are last, because I'm not really like a big gift person. Like I'll take a gift, if it's something I like, but I'm very particular. So if I get something I don't like, I'll like send that back.
Lord, no. Now I'll send it back.
So this piece is called Wonder Woman. It has like it's about my ideal woman. It has a little portion of like what I like to receive. I want an hourglass figure with time to spare. Hair could be long and short as long as it's not unkempt. Skin smooth as jazz, but she's more hip hop in the way she does fashion, outwardly expressing individuality. Full lips that spread for a sweet smile, or a fuck off smirk if needed. She walks with a purpose and struts to let you know what you don't have until you've earned it. Not loud until you disrespect it, which you shouldn't want to, because she's so caring. Like anytime someone says who cares, her name is the answer. She answers my call every time she has a moment. If not, she'll text me back saying, sorry, I couldn't answer. When's a good time to call back? Because Lord knows how I hate when you call someone and they text you back like, you called? It's really pet peeve of mine. Because they rob me the satisfaction of hearing their voice. She'll be the best choice like all of the above, and we can count on each other like calendars, but see, dates don't matter, because paying attention to her is all I need to qualify my status. I want to know how to push her buttons. I want her to know how to strike my keys. So that even in aggression, we can make a production like instruments and beat machines. She can show up to her doorstep in a hair wrap, no makeup on, give me a kiss right before I ask for the food at, and we'll be okay with that. I'll be cool with her dad, or father figure, for granting his wish of not having his princess end up with the average. And her mother will adore me. She'll say things like, he's better than anything you've ever brought into this house. You see if he has an older brother or something, just to be funny. Yo, I wonder if the woman of my dreams truly exists, or was I just set up to believe you can have what you wish, and wishes don't come true, even at 11 hours and 11 minutes. But if they did, I will hope one day that I want a woman.
I like how you started off with the hourglass, the metaphor for time. Like that just, oh, that was just, y'all be poeting. I love it.
Yes. I gotta write more love poems.
I felt that with Mashana
Today.
You know what I really liked? I liked the part in your poem where you talked about how you can kind of play with her. And y'all get the joke, because I kind of feel like that's so important in a relationship that y'all get each other's personality. Because if I'm saying something to you, and it's like you don't get that, it's like it's just a joke, or I'm messing with you, and you the type of person that every time you say something to a person, they take it like seriously, or it's like we can't vibe because I gotta be able to mess with you sometimes, and you know what I'm saying, or you can mess with me, and we know it's love there. It's not, you know what I'm saying. So that's really important. I feel like
It definitely is.
If I can't roast you, I don't love you.
if we can't laugh during sex sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be able to laugh during sex, do foolish shit around each other, and still love each other. Like, we gotta be all that.
I agree. Yeah. Being goofy is like, to me, that's the epitome of we get each other. Like, that lets me know that we're on the same wavelength. Like, if we can't be goofy together, then if I can't look at you and you know exactly, like, you saw what I saw, right? Oh, okay, I saw it. Like, you need that. You need the inside jokes and the, you know, the couples language. That's what I call it. Like, it's just our language that
I
we
like
speak
that.
to each other.
Couples language.
Okay, so my turn. I'm up.
Yes.
What do you like to receive?
All right, so physical, like, quality time used to be my top, right? Because I'm like, yeah, you know, I want to hang out, blah, blah, blah. But as I've gotten older, I realize I am a cuddle junkie. It's a problem. I was in a relationship for 5 years, and he was not a cuddler, right? But towards the end, when he realized that, like, oh, she's, like, leaving me, then it was like, well, can I hold you? And I'm like, but now it's, like, too late because, like, you know, the bum around the corner, he could probably hold me just as well. Like, at this point, this is where we are, right? So, yeah, it's physical touch. I did not know that about myself because I promise you, I am probably like, get off of me. What are you doing? Stop. But I need it. Like, if I'm not getting cuddled, if my kids, if they're not hugging me, like, I'm just like, what's wrong? Like, you know, are we not cool anymore? Like, so I realized as I got older, that's what I need. Like, that's my top. But I also need that quality time. Like, I need to spend time. I'm not a phone person. I want to see you in person. Let's go have a meal. Let's sit down and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let's read a book together. Whatever. As long as you're in my presence, then I'm good with that. So those are my top two. But this one is not on there. But I'm going to need your words and your actions to match more than anything. Like, be who you said you are. Do the things that you said you're going to do. Consider me. That's important. Like, think about how this will affect not just you, but affect me.